If you're looking for some drills to do to help you work on kind of that hand-eye coordination, especially if someone's throwing strikes at you, a fury of strikes, attacking you, whatever the case is, there's a few good drills out there. One of them is called the brush and grab. It's more of a traditional martial arts defense system. The principle is super simple, but the idea is that the concepts that come as a result of the brush and grab is kind of what we focus on when we are learning later techniques. So when you are doing the brush and grab, basically, person throws a punch at you, and again, it's just a straight punch. The idea is that we're working on a 3-block system, a 3-point block system. So I start with my same hand, and I'm merely blocking on the outside of the wrist. Second hand feeds underneath, and I'm going to come right to about the forearm. Now the first hand releases as my body starts to turn a little bit, and I push at the elbow. I push the arm across the body, and now in turn, I throw the punch. They do the same thing. And basically, you just repeat this motion over and over again. Start nice and slow. We're keeping our feet kind of in a fighting stance. We're not really moving anywhere else, and it's just a 3-point block system, which we'll get into the meaning behind it a little bit later. The idea is that we are looking across each other's shoulders. We're watching for the arms and the elbows to come so that you can kind of coordinate with it, and we're just going back and forth to work on that part. So obviously, the more experience you get with it, you can start picking up the pace a little bit to the point where you're going full speed. Again, that comes with more time and more practice, but for initially, it's just a nice, easy, simple. Again, we're standing in place, we're just throwing blocks. So that, again, that's part one, very simple system. If we're moving on to the next step of this, we're going to do the exact same motion, but the difference is now our bodies are physically going to be moving. When he throws a punch, I'm not standing stationary. My body is starting to turn sideways, which gives him a smaller target to strike. So again, I don't just stand here and block this while the punch is in my face, because there's a very good chance that even if I do this, I'm still going to eat the punch. So I have to, as I'm blocking, also turn my body at the same time, as he does the same thing. And you have to really emphasize turning your body sideways throughout the whole process, but when you go to throw the punch is when I come back in. We also slowly start kind of walking around in a circle. You can either go into a full circle, or you can kind of start coming back and forth. The idea with this is that you get used to moving on your feet while not losing your balance, while also being able to maintain a proper distance and the proper angle from your attacker. We're just moving side by side a little bit, just working the brush and grab. Your hands stay up the whole time. Again, we're constantly looking across each other's shoulders. Just a simple blocking technique. Again, as we're slowly progressing with this, we're adding a little bit more to it. You start kind of throwing in counter strikes or different strikes. So instead of it just being a straight punch, he may come in with an overhand strike, he may come in with a forearm, an uppercut, whatever the case is. Now, obviously, if he's coming in with an uppercut, I can't do the brush and grab. Or if he's coming with an overhand, I can't do the brush and grab. So the idea is that you start with the brush and grab, and then randomly, they're going to throw in another strike. Now, I have to just react to that however it is. So if I simply just do this as a block, if he does the same thing and I just kind of do like a rising block, that's fine. The idea is that they're throwing you off from the pattern that you're in, which keeps you on your toes and keeps you focused, and it builds that reaction speed. Doing normal brush and grab, and then we start throwing in random strikes. And again, it just kind of throws you off a little bit. Again, you don't have to take it real fast, but the idea is that you're just getting thrown off, and then at some point during all this, you still come back to the normal brush and grab. In the process of all this, you are still moving and progressing all at the same time. So you can slowly build this drill over time the more experience that you get. And then eventually, you can go full speed with it. So it's a simple brush and grab technique. You build it up over time. The more experience you get, the more fun that you can have with it. And again, it helps at the end of the day, it helps with your eye-hand coordination, which in turn helps with your reaction speed. The reason we do 3-point is we're kind of giving ourselves 3 chances to defend ourselves. So let's just say, for instance, they throw that punch, I miss that first block. But again, I'm still turning my body, and that's kind of your overall backup plan, is if you completely miss all your hands, hopefully I can turn enough to where at least the punch may just graze past me or slightly nick me compared to being a direct hit. But either way, with the hands, if I miss that first one, I follow up with the second one. If I miss the first and the second, I have the third. If I land the first but I miss the second, then I still have the third. Within each one in itself, if I don't want to progress to the second or the third block, I have counter strikes and counter moves that I can do. So it kind of allows you to build up all those techniques. So if he throws that first punch, let's just say I get to here and I want to instantly defend myself from here. So he throws that punch, I block, maybe I throw a counter strike right down to the gut, keeping my hands here, I can easily pass it over and come right up with another strike. Now I want to progress to the second one. So I go 1, 2. Now from here, same idea. I can follow in with another strike, I can grab the arm, I can kick from there, I can go arm bar from there, you have other options. Now I get into 3. From here, I press that arm. Obviously we know that based off the drill that after you do this, you're supposed to turn back in and strike. I can stay on the side if I want to, I can strike to the side, I can follow back up again, I can throw in another strike, and I can stay behind the person if I want to. The idea with the brush and grab is it's just a way to kind of brainstorm different techniques and different strikes, different counter strikes, different blocks. It's a great way to build your repertoire of techniques and defenses that you can do from a straight punch. Because again, if you're practicing self-defense and you're actively training in self-defense, you need drills like this to build up your ideas and your concepts and play around with it, because you don't want to just go into a fight and someone throw a punch and you're just doing this and you have no idea what to do. So by doing the simple brush and grab drill, you can get the idea, okay, that's a simple block. Now I do a simple block with a counter strike. Now I do one counter strike and I finish up with the brush and grab. So you have options, you have ways to build it, and then again, if you go back to just the actual basis of the brush and grab drill, then it's a nice just back and forth working on the eye-hand coordination. So it's a phenomenal drill to use, I highly recommend it. It's something you can easily do with a partner, or you can just simply have somebody hold out their arm and not do anything, and you just work different techniques from there and play around with it and stuff. So add this to your repertoire, add this to your training. It's a great way to build off that. Stay safe.